this is going on, all of these things were going on at that very moment, when 9/11 happened.
Because
he was trying to show...
Everybody says, what were you doing? You remember exactly what you were doing at the time that it happened.
Sure.
Yeah. And we also have the gallery director and the owner of the gallery here. We have George Viener. And hi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Okay.
I'm filming here. So if did you want to insert something into this?
There's nothing more I can insert. You both are getting Jim, right on. The only thing I would say about the piece that's made with the newspaper and masking tape is that this is what happens to a lot of people when they don't have any money and nothing stops them. If they have a vision to create something, they'll find a way to do it. I mean, his room that he did this in wasn't this large, and somehow he just found a way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just the human spirit is just
well. That's a lot of the theme of your gallery here is to capture the human spirit of people that aren't specifically artistically trained, or that there's a need to produce art that transcends the business aspects of art and becomes more of a personal, spiritual, expressive thing for these untrained so-called outsider artists that are doing this for themselves and not for the business of art.
Yeah, exactly. I have never met an artist that did not want to sell his work. But what I find in general, one of the differences between trained artists and untrained artists is the intentionality. It's not in every case, it's just a generality. But self-taught artists have to get something out. They have a vision, they have a need, they create. And it just comes out, and that's the first thing that's necessary, is to create it. Selling it is the last thing that they're thinking about. It just has a need, and that's where there's an honesty, there's a gutsiness. Not in all self-taught artists too. Only in the ones we have in the gallery, because
the ones you promote, right?
I'm kidding, because my wife and I have collected this art for many years, and we only collect the artists that we like. So that's all that's shown in the gallery. There are artists, self-taught artists, that are very popular and sell very well, but that wouldn't be honest of me to show work that I can't believe in. It's a passion that we have, and that's what we try to express and show people, and it's an alternative to other galleries saying, hey, here is great art, but these people just have not had formal training. A lot of these people, when they began, they didn't even know the word art. It was stuff. They just needed to create, and whatever is around is what you use. And Jim's an inner city artist. So he works with the supplies that he finds. He finds cardboard. He finds paper. He just things that people discard. That's what's used. People that live in rocky areas are going to do things with rocks. If they live in areas that are mountainous and lots of trees, they're going to do things with trees, with wood.
This is also different from Art Brut, which is a deliberate use of poor materials. Art Brut, more or less, is an artistically trained artist that deliberately uses these things. Seems to me that Jim is like an automatic artist. He has he just is using what's available to him, not because it says something about art history, but because it's something that he needs to use. He has no money to buy.
You're absolutely correct.
Art supplies.
Yeah. In fact, he just told us recently that he really just has to go back to, he's made some things on canvas. He says he has to go back to these as-found things. He's just more comfortable doing it. And with someone like Jim, I mean, he either creates his art, or I don't know what he does with his life. It's wonderful that he has this outlet, and it's even more wonderful that his art is so wonderful.
Oh, that's great. Well, I appreciate you talking with me.
Sure.
Thank you. We'll take a little bit of a look around gallery here, because I'll
You
probably...
and Emily were doing so well. I just really was loving listening
No, that
to
was
you.
great.
Oh, no. Well, I want to put you both in. I'm going to edit this, though, somewhat. And we also have some of his work hanging on some temporary walls here. But a lot of this stuff is very personal.
This piece over here is called Abu Ghraib Saturday Night. It's pretty, it's addressing a lot of what Jim feels to be very sick, disturbing things going on in the military.
A lot of violence.
A lot of violence, and the particular kind of sexual violence that was going on at Abu Ghraib prison. It's something that he deals a lot of in his work. With his work, themes there are themes of that deal with molestation and sexual abuse,
and just plain outrage.
And just plain outrage. I mean, he also deals with, in general, gender issues, social issues. He talks about homosexuality. A lot of his pieces, are really dealing with complicated gender issues. And sometimes he's indicting certain things, and sometimes he's expressing, more positive things, or sometimes he's just having fun. I've had about this work are with kids that come into the gallery, and they have a different perspective on Jim's work. A lot of his imagery and subject matter, he draws from a lot of cartoons and pop culture, and he talks about these really serious, sometimes very dark issues, and as you see, his imagery is really colorful, and a lot of it's imagery taken from, like I said, cartoons and different pop culture types of things. And I find that when kids come in, they relate to it on that level. Visually, it's it's colorful. It's his drawings are they relate in a different way. Kids were looking at the one we were talking about earlier with the trash can. A little ballerina came up the other day. She was waiting for her dance class, and she was laughing and thought it was like Beavis and Butthead. And
well, kids are subjected to so much of that lately. They hear so much nasty nasty comments on television, on from just living, on walking in Walmart, you can hear people talking this trashy language, so they hear it all the time. So it seems a little funny that they see it in art.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's a lot of what he's talking about. Is for him, I think he wants to break down that barrier of what you see in art and what actually happens in the real world. And I think that's part of what he's doing a lot of times. Is he's not afraid to be incredibly honest. Right.
Get rid of the cartoon violence.
So I think a lot of times, really, if a lot of people were as honest about what's going on in their mind as he is, it would be shocking what a lot of us might put down on a canvas.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Sure, thank you.